Welcome, welcome. I am so glad that everyone is able to join us again because we have one of my very special friends, Stephanie, who I had the pleasure to coach. She is an amazing person. She's like the person of multi hats. She's a high performance life and business coach. Most recently, she's a podcaster, a business strategist, a mom, many hats, lots of awesome knowledge. I'm really excited to dive into today's conversation with Stephanie. So, Stephanie, can you share a little bit about yourself and just a little about your background?
Yeah, definitely. So I have been passionate about helping people my whole life. As a young person, I just really gravitated towards just supporting people wherever I could. In the beginning, it looked like helping people walk across the street who were struggling. And then I started my first job as a caregiver. I became a nurse as my career profession. And then from there, I took a break from working and had a few more children. And then I wanted to do more. And so that brought me to the online space where I started as a blogger and I wanted to do it as my profession. But then I quickly realized that I was really good at helping people to implement projects and get them done. And that allowed me to work behind the scenes in 6 and 7 figure businesses, which I thoroughly enjoyed, being the right hand, leading teams. And through that work, I realized that coaching people through their life was actually a part of the job
Mhm.
because we're so intertwined, life and business. And so I just wanted to make it official, and I became a certified high performance coach to be able to bring together the life and the business to perform at the best level.
I love that. And I love that, like I said, you have many hats that you wear. And what's so cool about what you do is that you've blended all these passions together that you enjoy and things that you enjoy, but also different ways that you can just help serve people, which I know ultimately is what you absolutely love to do. And you're so passionate about it and you're really good at it.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. So, when you and I first started coaching together, what inspired you to just be coached by me and have a coach? I know you and I are firm believers, and every good coach also has a coach. But what inspired you to jump in coaching?
Yes, definitely. So we were in a group program together, and I remember that you just really stuck out to me as somebody that I felt like I could trust. There's just something about your spirit that I was like, I really like her, and I want to be your friend, basically. So when we had the opportunity, I took it to be able to get coached by you, and I loved it. Such a good experience.
Likewise, it was so fun coaching you and just being able to even like coach to coach be able to just see your path and help you even more so expand on that. Super cool. What do you feel like were some challenges that you faced before you started working with me and before we started coaching together?
Yeah, so I think with you, because I've been coached several times since, but I believe it was really becoming present, and that was
Yes.
something I really focused on was being present, and it was such a great experience to be dialed in on what are my priorities, and for me at the time, it was dialing in my presence with my family,
Mhm.
and that has been pretty profound because it's taken me down a wonderful path to being a better mom and wife and making that my priority before business and allowing my business life to support my personal goals. And it was just very needed and a great outcome.
What's so cool about you saying those exact words is as you said it, I was like, oh, I remember it was like session 2 or 3 that's exactly what you said. Actually, I think it was session 3 when we were talking about energy. And you said that I just want to be the best wife and the best mom that I can be. That is my main mission. That is my goal. And you really have tapped into that, and I love hearing how much you've expanded on that, because it's what ended up being a perceived really core value, and that core value has helped there then guide you to what's important, and it has helped you create boundaries on where you need to be, what you need to do next, where you need to spend your time and energy. And I love that about you, Stephanie. It's so cool.
Oh, thank you.
What do
One
you
one
feel?
thing
Go ahead.
one thing I want to mention about your coaching style that I really loved was that you were able to go beneath the surface
Mm,
and tap into things that I didn't say.
mhm.
And and you brought light to that. And I had some of the biggest ahas and golden nugget moments just from those times where you were able to pull that out. And I was like, wow, that was amazing.
What kind of goals did you want to achieve before we started working together? What was important to you?
Yeah, just I think in general, my my personal life, that was my focus, was my personal life. And namely being present for my family and developing, processes for our family to really be together and move forward together successfully. And that was definitely it at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was something that I remember you and your husband were really incorporating more walks in, and getting some more sunshine and fresh air together, and just having those moments in that time. It was so healing and beneficial to you to even just, do a 15-minute walk with him, and to have that connection time, and I think the more you did it and the more you recognize, oh, this is important to me, and this is something that really brings us together and bonds us. And I know this as a high performance coach, but that's part of that high performance living, right? Is having those really positive, good, healthy connections and relationships with those that are around us that are most important to us.
Oh, it's so important, definitely.
What kind of skills or strategies do you feel like you gained by being coached through the program?
Yeah, being coach of the program helped me to recognize certain things that coaches do, and
Yeah.
not just to do them because we're told to do them, but being able to now want to do them because I received and I gained the benefit of those certain practices. For example, one thing that you're really good at is pausing and allowing there to be quiet and no words being said. Just the look that you have, the your undivided attention and that still presence speaks 1,000 words. And so that was one thing that I was able to implement and take away and really receive from experiencing that.
What a cool reflection to just recognize the power of the pause, just
Mhm.
both in being coached, in coaching people, and just in life, just being able to have that pause, have that moment of silence. What do you feel like having that pause, what does that do for you? Like, how does that bring forward energy for you?
Yeah, for me, I think it allows me to reflect on what was just said,
Mm,
and it allows me also to feel seen and heard, and just to be sit present in that moment. I'm one of those people that after some time, I that's when I come up with a big aha. And
mhm.
so it's not like right in the direct dialogue. So allowing that pause allows for that time to bloom that aha, essentially.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's like it allows it to marinate a little bit so that it can surface.
Mhm.
When you're coaching your clients, what do you feel like that's helped you to just continue to gift forward to other people?
Yeah, I see that they experience that too.
Yeah.
That you know, sometimes when you ask what did you love about the session or what was your greatest insight? I often find that it was just time for them to just be,
Yeah.
to just say whatever they needed to say, to get it off their chest. And it may not have been like that I said something specifically. It may have just been them being able to just be and say whatever they needed to say and have that quiet space.
And as we're going through just life, I think that it's even more important. I'm finding that having that space for to just be, to be present, to have a moment of quiet reflection. I'm finding that it is so much more important. The more I go through life, the more I experience, the more I journey, and I find that it's equally as important for other people to have that experience as well.
Yeah, for sure. And we're all more similar than we realize
Yeah.
once it comes down to it. We all have these essential needs that need to be met.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that a little more, or what you mean by that?
Yeah, so I coach people of all backgrounds. I like to meet people wherever they're at, whatever that looks like. And um, at the end of the day, it's just there's just certain things that people need to feel safe. They need to feel loved. They need to feel that they have a support system and connection and community. And so it's just so interesting that once you peel back some of the layers, it's there's these essential things that we all share.
It's the aha that, oh, we are all human after all.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that that's what connects us and brings us together, and also what helps us to share those commonalities. Because as humans, we are, um, we're pack people, we're pack animals, right? We like to be around like-minded people. We like to be, have that support system around us, people who get us, people who make us feel seen and heard. And when we have those connections with other people, they're profound because you found your tribe, your community.
Hmm. Yes.
Can you think back to and maybe share a specific breakthrough or milestone that you went through when we were working together?
Ooh. Let's see, a specific milestone. Um, I think it was probably being more intentional about my time with my kids. And that meant actually putting the phone down.
Hmm.
And so just being able to look at them in the eye and have a conversation without the phone.
What did that do for them in return? What was their receiving response?
They get mom and they get my undivided attention. And that means that they don't have to do other things to get in trouble just to get my attention.
Yeah, because kids will definitely do that. They, kind of act out whether they like plot it, or if they if they just kind of like, impulsively do things to get our attention, right? Because they want that, they need that, and it goes back to like that's your tribe, that's where your people are, and they feel so loved and supported by you, and they just want more mom.
Mhm.
What would you say, the experience in being coach, how has it helped to further relationships, like with your husband, with your kids, with the people that you coach? What has that done for you?
Yeah, I find that it's really helpful because I really believe that we all need a coach
Hmm.
and we all need a coach all the time because the accountability is really helpful to know that we're accountable to somebody and we're not just having that we are working forward and we say we're going to do something, we're going to work on this thing that we want to grow more on. We have the opportunity to communicate and really clarify what is important to us at this moment
Right.
and being able to understand what we actually want. And that's so important. And without having somebody to talk to who's specifically there to help you make progress in these areas, it is really hard to gain that knowledge and understanding and to feel supported. And I just find that whenever I actively do have somebody that is coaching me, I do better
Hmm. Hmm.
and they do better. I have a client right now that has established, she put her stick in the sand and said, I will always have a coach because
Yay!
I
I love
know that
that.
I always need a coach. I can't do the life without one.
Oh, I love that. That should be a tagline. I can't do life without a coach. I must always have one. That's so cool. And I love what you were talking about with the accountability and just really figuring out and gaining the clarity of what it is that you want. Because what I think when we have that clarity and know what our values are, know what's important to us, it helps us then to create boundaries. It helps us to create goals. It helps us to have that forward progress in motion.
Yes, I completely agree with you.
When you feel like when you're talking about understanding what we really want, how do you feel like that comes about, both as being a coach and someone who is also coached?
Yeah, so this is something that I talk to people quite frequently about, especially when they don't know if they want coaching or not, but they recognize that they kind of realize come to the point where they need a coach when they realize I don't know what I want. Like when they're making maybe a business goal or making a career decision or deciding about what where to move or just what to do in the next year, it comes down to like I want to make a decision, but I don't think I really know what I want. And so many people do things in their life just because
Yeah.
they started something and they routinely do it. Um, and so you hear this often, even with children, that they get into a sport and they don't even like it. They may not even be good at it, but they just stay in it just because, or a musical instrument. And they start having some resentment, like, I'm not happy. Like, I'm not even great at these things. Like, what am I good at? And so I feel like these conversations are actually really essential to really provide meaning in your life so
Mhm.
that you can feel successful. And um, without these conversations, you may just living life like just lukewarm.
Ooh, that's really good. Living life lukewarm. That's so powerful. I so agree with you. And I think what you said was really powerful because, it's kind of like the story of there's an old folk story about the ham hocks. The daughter always cuts the ends of the ham hocks off when she cooks the ham. And the husband and says, why do you do that? And she's like, I don't know. It's my mom did it that way. And so they go to the mom and, "Oh, mom, why do you cut the ends off?" And she said, "Well, I don't know. It's what grandma used to do." And then they go to grandma, and grandma said, "Well, we didn't have pans that were big enough to fit the whole ham, so I cut the ends off." But, it's that tradition that was carried on. Like sometimes we don't know why we do what we do, or we have a habit or a routine that, yeah, that probably served us at one point in our time in our life and at time. But it's so important to reevaluate that and reassess where you are in this season of life.
Yes, for sure. And that's why I really believe that high performance coaching is essential for everyone to experience in their life.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, just the accountability and that sounding board to have someone that you can bounce ideas off of, that someone that can see that overall picture and help guide you, not give you the answers. Because I really believe that we are the ones that have the answers, and sometimes we just need a little help, a little guidance to pull out what the answer is for us at that moment. Because the answer is also going to change as we continue to change and grow.
Mhm. And another thing that my clients find value in is somebody that they can trust,
Yeah.
somebody they can confide in. Because if you're trying to use a friend for these kind of things, then friends spread the word to other people, and it can grow into a wildfire of negativity when it wasn't meant to be shared. And so that's the thing is, I think My clients just love being able to know that what they're what they shared is someone that's keeping it confidential.
Absolutely. And, again, it's something that we all need. And it's so important to just have someone to help us. Life is hard, and there's so many parts of life that we need extra help and extra support. And, I always say it takes a village to raise kids, but it takes a village just to live life and to go through the ups and the downs, because you want that person that's going to be that cheerleader for you and cheer you on when something really exciting happens. And you also want that person when things are challenging and you need a little extra support or guidance to help you navigate through.
Mhm. Yes, we all do.
Yeah, yeah. So going through the high performance program, as someone being coached, what does high performance living mean to you now?
Ooh, okay. So high performance living to me now is living out my purpose and striving to be my best every day, every moment. And when you fall, you get right back up without ruminating on it. You have the tools, the techniques to just get up and start again.
Oh, that's so good, Stephanie. I love what you said about just living in purpose, striving to be your best. That's so powerful. And it's amazing to have that clarity and those values of what's really driving you forward.
Mhm.
What advice would you give someone who is maybe considering joining in being a part of the high performance coaching program with me? What kind of advice would you give them, or what would you tell them if they were kind of on the fence and unsure if this was the right fit for them?
Allow yourself to lean in and experience this,
Mm,
just to experience the process, to go through it and to go all in. And it doesn't mean that you have to be coached forever, but just allow yourself to go through those first 12 core sessions and see what kind of transformation you can go through.
mm. That is so awesome. That's so well said. And I love the word you use, allow yourself, giving yourself permission to just go through it and to get the help and to get the experience. That's so awesome.
Mhm.
And how do you see yourself just continuing to grow and to thrive in the future as you continue to move on in your awesome journey?
Ooh, well, I got to continue to have a coach.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, I continue to evaluate where I'm at, what I can do better, um, how I'm helping people, and just how I can create more impact and lean into living out my purpose. For me, that is what success means to me, is truly living out my purpose on a day-to-day basis.
Mm. That's so well said. Just being able to tap into what success means to you right now and what's important to you to accomplish, and let that success be your guiding light.
Yes.
And how would you describe your growth journey in one word or one phrase? If you had to sum it all up, what would that be?
Commit.
Ooh, good one. Which it leads me to my next one, where people can find you. And I say this because I know this is part of your podcast, but where can people find you if people are interested in being a part of your journey and working with you, listening to your podcast? If you could give us that information where people can find you.
Yeah, my podcast is on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and it's called Commit to High Performance Growth. And so if you search that, or if you search my name, Stephanie Donahue, you'll be able to find it. And I have a website, stephaniedonahue.co, where you can learn more as well.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you so, so much, Stephanie. I so appreciate your time and just sharing a little bit about your journey and your background. It's really awesome to see um, all the steps that you've taken, how much you've grown, and to continue to watch you grow. I think that that's one of the great things about being a part of this coaching community, and just being able to see people on their journey and the next steps that they take. And I know that you love taking many next steps. So I'm excited to see where you continue to go from here.
Thank you, Heather.
Awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that for those of you listening and watching this, I hope you got something that was beneficial from Stephanie and that, we're all taking a little bit more pause in our life and continuing to grow and thrive in ways that are really helpful and healthy for us. Until next time, we will see you later. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Bye.
Bye.